Welcome into this Wednesday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham and Neal McCready, Clark Ford at studio this morning. It is the start of the early signing period. Really, a lot of years, the main signing day. But for Ole Miss, I got a feeling January is going to be pretty crazy. So I think it's just one of the two right now for the Rebels. This is a bit of a placeholder day. They've made some cuts. They've tried to get into some guys. Mostly it is signing the commits that wanted to hang around and the ones that they wanted to hang around at this point. We'll talk about that a little bit today on the podcast, brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon Highway 6 West in Oxford. You can go and get the ribs, the lunch specials that are $4.99 with 2 sides bread, 32-ounce drink, the daiquiri, and much, much, much more there, including Oxford Crystal right next door. You do both at the same time, and you know that with your basketball game ticket, it's a coupon, $150 off a sack full or steamer pack there with the Oxford Crystal next door to the Oxford Exxon. Again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900 is that number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for, and he'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. No haggle, no hassle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop it around, or you can do what I've done, which is hop into a Clark Ford. You'll love it. You'll love the service even more. Corey and the people there at Clark Ford want to be your truck guy, your car guy. They'll prove that to you. 662-257-1900.
Housekeeping as we're getting going. Hand raise guys around 8 o'clock tonight, something like that. So come on back. We'll discuss whatever happened today during National Signing Day. We'll talk about whatever Lane Kiffin says at 3 o'clock today when we speak to him at the Manning Center, and whatever else you guys want. It'll be the length of a typical podcast, hour 15, hour and a half, something like that. But we'll probably take some calls potentially. We'll see what comes tonight as we have a hand raise guys again around 8 o'clock. That will be tomorrow's podcast as well, kind of like we did last week or a week and a half ago, whenever that was. So we'll do that tonight, and then just a little reminder too on the week coming up. Friday in Jackson, we will have a live show during the Ole Miss basketball cocktail hour. The cocktail hour is 5 to 6. I'm assuming our show will be starting 5:20, 5:30, something like that is my guess there, something like that. Kermit Davis and Sue Cisse both going to join us during that live show. We will record it. It will be in podcast form as well. So obviously, if you don't live in Jackson, you're still able to catch that also. And then December 29th, Southern Craft, 6 to 9 p.m. drink specials. Just come hang out. Not a live show, just kind of a party to say thank you and ring in sort of the pre-New Year, if you will.
We have a website that we maintain. It's called rebelgrove.com. It is part of the rivals.com network. If you are looking for a Christmas present for yourself or for others, today would be a really good day to sign up. There's a static page at rebelgrove.com. Click that link. Go to promo code Nike, Nike. You get 25% off your subscription, and you get a $75 gift card that you can use at Nike.com, at Converse.com, or at retail outlets all over the U.S. And Puerto Rico. If you decided that you just wanted to go to San Juan to use your gift card, you could do that as well. We are third in the network right now in signups using the promo code.
Okay. Second is in our grasp. First is not.
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to catch Georgia.
No.
That's okay. Roddy and the people there do a good job. You know, our mortal enemies at Soonerscoop.com. I've got them in my sights. And listen, here's what's concerning, and I'm going to ask for some help here. I don't ask for a lot from the peeps. I mean, I got a lot going on today. I'm fighting the police. I mean, I got stuff happening, but I do not want to get caught by the Arkansas side.
Oh, that's where we're at right now?
The Arkansas side is behind us in 4th.
Okay.
Georgia Tech is 5th. I don't want to get caught by them either.
Now,
I have no problem with Kansas State.
But we got a couple deals there at 4 and 5. Need to stay on the podium there from those two.
Little breaking news from our correspondent Caroline McCready out at Oxford High School. J.J. Pegues, as I've tried to tell people now for the better part of 6 months, is
signed with the Auburn
bound.
Tigers.
Yes.
Okay.
The people that pushed back.
Did you send her to the press conference just in case?
I did not.
Okay.
Did not. Caroline marches to her own beat, and I let her. But she has told me for a long time, Daddy's going to Auburn.
Yeah. The buzz around
so when you say on a message board, hey, the kids at Oxford say that he's going to Auburn, well, they're wrong. Okay, well, my experience has been they will tell their peers before they tell anyone. So Anyway, J.J. Pegues to Auburn. He was going to go to Auburn had Matt Luke stayed. Today would have been a meltdown day. Anyway, back to the
we have a 5-person cushion on Arkansas now.
So sign up. You get a $75 gift card. You get 25% off, which means that your subscription goes from about $9 a month to about $7 a month. $7 a month. For all of the entertainment that you get, it's the best deal in show business.
You can submit questions to Jay and Neil for therapy. You can do a lot of things with that $7.
So that's available.
Nobody else can really catch us.
That's available to you.
That's kind of it.
I think we're right there. I'm cool with the bronze medal. I just don't want to slip to 4th here,
especially with those two.
Yeah, it's
also a little unfair because we had our own promo for a while. Those numbers aren't factored into this.
No, we did really good with that promo too.
Yeah. Now Missouri would be much higher. Gabe did well with his promo, and I don't see Gabe on this list.
He's down the list.
Is he down somewhere?
Yeah, he's.
What's wrong with him? What's up?
I don't know.
Is Elijah Drinkwitz not getting the buzz going in Columbia?
He has not moved the needle the way that Lane Kiffin has moved the needle. National media, I'm told, embedded today at Ole Miss.
Really?
Yep.
That one's interesting because nobody's expecting anything dramatic at all today.
Just tells you how big of a story he is.
But the actual content's kind of duddy.
The content itself will be interesting to see how it's written because it would be easy to go negative, and if you go negative today, you're missing the point.
Reading from the live chat, no, Russell working for the Georgia Tech site does not bother us.
That is not
the thing.
No. Good for him.
Yeah, no issues there. I do. I have thousands of pullovers. Yes, I wear a lot of pullovers. I have thousands of pullovers.
You do have a lot of pullovers.
I have a lot of pullovers. Yes, that is because most of my sweaters are even like zip up ones, like the actual sweaters. Yeah, I don't know. And then I have an extreme, like I have a ridiculous amount of golf pullovers. It's frankly it's probably an issue. We're going to talk to Jeffrey at some point today. I think he's calling in the next 5-10 minutes, something like that. I don't know. I haven't heard from him. You said you have, so.
We chatted yesterday briefly.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really know what it is that we're even talking about today in general.
Yeah, I think we're just kind of here today because this is usually we don't even do a show on Wednesday, but we didn't want to take a day off from me. We wanted to come hang out. So, and again, I don't think there's anything crazy going on is a lot of the reason for this. I mean, as of right now, I'm kind of scrolling through the list of who has signed, and it's everyone you expected to have signed. Chris Morris sticking with Texas A&M. That came out last night.
Yes.
So that one's off the board. Yeah, I don't have a lot here from that standpoint. But Eli Acker's in. Santo Rollins is in. Tobias Braun's in.
Oh, if this is the case.
Cedric Johnson's in.
If this is the case, here's a big blow.
Okay.
There is speculation about Josiah Hayes to Kentucky this morning.
That would be a problem.
Which would be an upset. That would be an upset.
Is that real?
I don't know. Working on it.
Where'd you get it from?
Zach.
Oh, okay. Well, need a second? Or you?
No. We're good. We're good. Working.
Neil would also like for you to vote for him on Twitter this morning. He is locked in a battle right now with the Oxford Police Department and a Twitter bracket that was put together by friend of the site Randy Morgan yesterday. So yeah, I am in a comfortable lead over Zach. We got paired in the first round somehow. Frankly, I think it was a conspiracy to make sure two Rebel Grove people did not move forward in the same bracket. Yeah. Frankly, but I mean,
that bracket was fishy.
Bracket was a little fishy.
Yeah,
there was some problems in that bracket.
There was some real trolling in that bracket.
You got the 1 seed though.
I did get a 1 seed.
You got the 1 seed.
Easily the toughest 8 seed.
You think so?
Yeah. Like Ben Garrett gets a 1 seed, but he draws the professor that everyone hates. I mean, that's like Duke versus Alabama A&M in the first round. I guess we'll show up.
No shot.
Yeah. God.
I was a little annoyed I was a 7 seed. I should have been higher than a 7.
Yeah, it was a little trolly at you.
7 was a little low there. It's all right. Hey, it's all good.
Recency bias because Zach does a lot of recruiting.
Yeah.
And we were in recruiting season, so he gets a 2 seed.
If it was in May, I'd have a higher seed. I think I'm facing Ben Garrett next. I told you I've already got my strategy ready for that one. We're already set for battle here in round 2 against Ben as we move forward. As long as nothing goes crazy the rest of the day. I don't know. It's been pretty fun actually. It was it came out of nowhere, kind of a dumb thing, but had some fun with it. So yeah, you're up 52-48 right now.
I'm told there is some slowness.
Oxford's even in our live chat this morning. I mean, the police department's even in our live chat.
Oh, are they
this
really?
morning. Yeah.
Oh, see,
getting embedded in right now. You're getting followed. You said there was policemen out all over you this morning?
I took the dogs to the vet. I was on Jackson Avenue, and I look in my rearview mirror, and there's the fuzz. Passed me on the right, kind of slowed down. There's a lot going on, man. It's intimidation. But I've been rampaging so much lately that it's just coursing through my veins.
Changed your Twitter profile pic.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Let's talk recruiting for a minute.
Okay.
Hayes, obviously, huge blow if that is the case.
Okay, let's do full disclosure. That's what
Sure.
that's what we're good at.
Okay. Go ahead.
There is a rumor circulating in the recruiting world today with a couple of recruits that don't believe Mike McIntyre is staying at Ole Miss. We've talked about this throughout this process. Until Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss football officially announce anyone, nothing is official.
Let me go quickly here. This is 8:17 a.m. on Wednesday. So at 11, this could be different, whatever. 8:17, go ahead.
Good point.
Yeah.
If that's the case, that would make some sense for a couple of recruits. That's who they're tied to. And when they ask those questions,
it's a weird spot too, because you're coming through with this right now, where it's a quiet period or dead period or whatever. There's no recovery. You know what I mean? You have
Right.
no way to go in after
Right.
that guy's out or McIntyre's out and go, hey, yeah, but hey, here's who I'm looking at. Here's whatever. You know, this happens every year. You're able to kind of pull these guys back in. You're just kind of stuck here.
and you're not really at liberty to say who the new guy is going to be, because if that's the case, I don't think they really know who the new guy is. I think they know who 2 or 3 of the possibilities are, but I don't think they know who the new guy is.
And this is a decent point here. I mean, look, it's a business. It is what it is. I get this is not perfect. Why not keep everything all hunky-dory for another week until you get them in the boat? I get the honesty thing. I understand it, but don't you at least have to think about it?
And maybe they did. I'm being kind of trying to be transparent here so that nobody thinks that we're reporting something we aren't.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I don't know what was said.
We're not reporting anything necessarily about Mike McIntyre or Josiah Hayes.
What I'm telling you is that there are a couple of recruits out there, both on the defensive side of the football, that have said to people, because it's gotten back to me from those recruits, that Mike McIntyre's not going to be at Ole Miss anymore, and that for them was bothersome, troublesome, impacted their decision-making abilities. That's it. Transition classes are always just that. They're transition classes. They are never smooth anywhere. Literally, the only one I can even think of was Lane Kiffin at Tennessee 10 years ago, but there was no early signing period then. You had time until the first Wednesday of February to kind of fix things.
Oh, it changes everything. Yeah, I mean, because right now, with some guys, you're going, hey, can you just wait? Can you just chill and give us a minute?
And I think with some guys that has happened.
Yeah.
But then what happens with kids is the other schools are able to say, hey, look,
if you're coming,
I can't promise you, Joe, I can't promise you that you're going to have your spot available in February. It's available today, and we're going to keep recruiting you, but I can't promise you if you take other visits, we're going to take other visits. If you date other people, we're going to date other people. And I can't promise you that we're not going to fall in love with somebody else. I can't promise you we're not going to give this ring to somebody else.
But today you get a rose.
But today, here's the ring. Here's the final rose. Here it is. But here's the other thing that happens effective as early as late today. Tomorrow, you see assistant coaches just all of a sudden take other gigs. Just take gigs.
Oh, there'll be exodus following this thing.
Yes. I don't care for
This
that.
is why we don't do a show on Wednesday morning most of the time, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all good, but
I think a lot of times people do like to see the behind-the-scenes stuff. This is kind of the behind-the-scenes stuff. We're checking. I'm going to send a text to some people about Hayes and see what I can find out.
where has, I mean, 'cause I don't have this answer. You've been doing it. Where has Kentucky sort of been with him before this point? I mean, how big of a shock would that be? I mean, is it a surprise? Like, how do you kind of categorize this?
No, not a shock. They've been in on it. They were close to closing the deal a couple of weeks ago, and then Ole Miss got back involved when they hired Kiffin. It's one of the reasons that the move to get rid of to go from Luke to a new guy makes so much sense. It is so difficult to maintain any momentum at all as a football program with recruits when the hot seat is so hot. Because every other school says, hey, man, I get it. You like Matt Luke. I like Matt Luke. Everybody likes Matt Luke. But guess who doesn't like Matt Luke? Those fans. Matt's not going to be there. You're signing to play at a program that's going to be in transition.
Yeah, because they do. Because the kid doesn't do the, hey, I hate this guy because he's talking bad about my guy. No. Hey, I love Matt Luke. Matt's a great guy.
Sure.
Hey, yeah, we want him to go and succeed. I understand why you like Ole Miss, but
Sure.
I understand why you love Matt Luke.
Absolutely.
But hey, look at the crowd. Look at the attendance.
Let me show you what people are saying.
Yeah, here, hey.
Look at Twitter.
We're just trying to protect you, really, because, I mean, we don't want you to have to deal with a transition in the middle of your career. And he's not going to be there the next 4 years. I wish he was, because he's a great guy.
Yep.
But
hate to see a good guy fail, but
that's how it works.
Oh, and by the way, Mark Stoops is a good guy.
Hey.
And he's not failing. Look, he just got a contract extension.
Look at this contract. I actually have a copy of it here in my briefcase.
Yeah.
You want to look at this?
That matters. That matters. This league's tough, man. Make no mistake.
Auburn recruits well with a coach on the hot seat every year because they still fill up the stands and they win enough games where it's not a big deal. Recruits aren't in on the minutia of things.
No.
They don't get the minutia.
Well, as much as Gus is, quote, on the hot seat,
he's kind of not.
He's not, because they can't afford a $20-some-odd million buyout. The proof is he's still there. And they're in what bowl? The Outback Bowl, I think.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's correct.
They're playing Minnesota. January 1st and all that stuff. They've got this young quarterback that everybody likes. And
who did get better as the year went on.
And then, look, I don't want to get into this today because I'm trying to win an election. Oxford High School is, just because of the way that Oxford is made up, you've got a lot of people that are kids there who don't have a lot of, because their parents work at the university. They don't have strong ties to Mississippi and stuff. And then it's a lot different kind of kids. There's just a lot of kids there that don't really think about, not that they don't consider Ole Miss, they do, but they're not locked into Ole Miss as little kids. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think JJ.
Real quick on this.
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, again, I'm periphery on this. I'm just trying to guide this thing best I can. J.J. Pegues telling reporters this morning he never spoke to Lane Kiffin.
It's probably true.
Says,
it's my understanding. Now that it's done.
Okay, go ahead. All right, let me read you the quote, and I'll let you just go everything. It says, let's see. Pegues said a change from Matt Luke played a role and said he never got a chance to speak with Lane Kiffin. Then Nathaniel Gabler says it was described as a, quote, miscommunication.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The Saturday after the Egg Bowl, J.J. Pegues told the Ole Miss staff that he was going to Auburn.
Okay.
Matt Luke was fired on Sunday. Throughout that week, it was Auburn. When Kiffin was hired, there was a phone call that was made to try to facilitate a meeting between Kiffin and Pegues. And Pegues, my understanding, told them on that Monday morning or maybe Tuesday morning that he didn't want to waste their time. There was a report that came out, remember, that week that, hey, he was coming up. He was going to take his official visit as soon as the All-Star game was over. I ran that by some people who would know, and they said, I don't know where you're getting that. There's nothing to that. One person connected to it said Ole Miss had a basically 0.000000001% chance that it was over. That if anything, Alabama was the threat to Auburn because Alabama was motivated.
You and I just got a text with somebody talking about the same thing. Said essentially he tried to link up prior to the All-Star game, and JJ essentially said, "I'm good."
Yeah, he. In many cases, to his credit, he just said, "I'm done." He's been leaning Auburn a long time. It's one of the great things about Oxford is that it also works against them a little bit. It's not a bad drive from here to Auburn. About 5 hours. Easy to get to Birmingham. Then from there you have 2 easy routes to Auburn, however you decide to go. You go 280 or go 65 to 85. Either way, it's pretty simple. Be there in 5 hours.
Woodson doing a good job for Auburn.
Woodson's doing a really good job for Auburn. Done a really good job in Mississippi for a couple of years now. It's something that
it's real.
Lane Kiffin and the staff are going to have to get a hold of it.
Yeah. Continue this conversation in 1 second. First, talk about Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. They're getting local underwriting and understands your market. A leader in condo financing, the float down option, and with rates as low as they've been in about 2 years. Good time to talk to Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
We are also brought to you. Jeffrey Wright and others will join us on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters is sports, music, drink, and food. They're known for great food, New Orleans-style po' boys, handcrafted burgers, all with the Cajun flair. Rafters on the Square offers the best sports viewing in Oxford, 14 large flat screens plus a 17-foot big screen on the Rafters stage. Rafters, known for its famous Bloody Mary, also has 3 full bars, including an outside patio bar. It's open Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays from 11 to 2. Their Sunday brunch is voted the best brunch in Oxford. Features live bluegrass band, $3 mimosas. It's closed right now for the Christmas holidays. Everybody's taking a break, get a chance to regroup. Then they will reopen on New Year's Eve at 5 p.m. $3 champagne all night. New Year's Day, be open. It's a great place to watch the Sugar Bowl, the Rose Bowl, whatever, and enjoy all of the entertainment there at Rafters on the Square in Oxford. Don't just accept what you see, but imagine something new. Step forward and chase after a better version of yourself. Every day, Corinth Dental is helping people reinvent themselves one smile at a time. Dr. Bubba McQueen and Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative state-of-the-art procedures, including Invisalign. These clear aligners are the virtually invisible way to improve your smile. Call Corinth Dental today for a no-cost digital scan of your teeth and let them show you the way to a straighter, healthier smile. 12-month, no interest, no down payment financing available at corinthdental.com. If you need a gift idea for your kids this holiday season, the Oxford Park Commission recommends signing up for the 2020 spring soccer season. If you played with them in the fall, you can rejoin your team for just $25. The cost for new registration, if you didn't play in the fall and you want to play this spring, is $50. Leagues are open for ages 5 to 15. The deadline to sign up is December the 22nd. For more information, visit oxfordparkcommission.com. We're also brought to you by Splinter Creek. It's a gated conservation community located 8 miles southwest of Oxford, 75 minutes from the Memphis airport. SplinterCreekMS.com. Phone number is 601-898-2772 to schedule a tour with Tom Smith Land and Home Agents today. It's 34 lakefront lots, 2 to 25 acres, 650 acres of lakes, pine, hardwood forest, private roads, running, cycling, hiking trails. It's just absolutely gorgeous. If you're thinking about moving to Oxford, if you're thinking about retiring to Oxford, You owe it to put this on the list of things to check out before you make a decision. splintercreekms.com, I should say, 601-898-2772. And on Friday, I'm on my way into Jackson. I'm stopping by College Corner Store to get some giveaways for our show on Friday night.
Correct. Yep.
You can go ahead and take advantage of just some shopping opportunities yourself. collegecornerstore.com. It's your one-stop Christmas shop. Presents for guys, gals, and kids. Get 30% off with the coupon code LANETRAIN, LANETRAIN, collegecornerstore.com.
So, as you mentioned, we usually just keep it pretty real around here. I do have a question.
Okay.
Josiah Hayes, I guess, is one. We'll see how that shakes out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Doesn't appear that we have an answer here.
Nothing that I feel super about.
Pegues going to Auburn the whole time. Let's be honest. This class right now, as of this moment, there's one 4-star in this class. Let me go to the page. I won't get this right as I say what I'm about to say.
Apparently, we're having some admin issues on National Signing Day.
I mean, had I told you to take a guess there.
Oh, I know which way I would have gambled.
Okay. So there's two.
I would have won.
Would you?
Yeah.
All right, 2 4-stars per Rivals in this deal. One signed to Marcus Thomas, tied in out of Saraland, Alabama, and then McDonald, the DB out of Murfreesboro. 2 4-stars. Out of right now 16 total commits.
Yeah.
Ole Miss's class at this moment is ranked 44th nationally. Okay.
Yeah. I won't be surprised if McDonald's not on the class when it's over.
Okay. So drop it even further, whatever. Here's my point. I get the evaluation thing. I get the development thing. I get that last year there were some guys that really played well as freshmen that we're not talking about on National Signing Day.
Yeah.
This class isn't very good from a ranking standpoint.
Right.
This class was not going to be a ton better had that previous staff been retained, right?
It was falling apart.
That's kind of my point here is, I mean, maybe more than anything, you look at this and go, forget the stands, forget the money, forget all that. Roster management is job one with any coaching staff.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
The group you put on the field, those 85 scholarships.
Yeah.
This isn't good enough. And I mean, again, nothing for the kids, great kids, happy for you. But you're in the SEC West. This class isn't good enough, and it wasn't going to be good enough. Frankly, to me, this is as much justification as anything for what transpired 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I agree completely. I'm going to touch on something here because we're using J.J. Pegues as an example. Colreb 2000 is saying Lane's last tight end won the Mackey Award. He did. Here's the problem with recruiting that people don't understand or don't want to understand. These kids are not as connected to college football as you think they are. They're kids. And then secondly, it's relationships. He built a relationship with Marcus Woodson that was stronger than any other relationship. The previous Ole Miss staff, I'll give them this. They recruited J.J. Pegues as hard as you can recruit a player.
Yeah.
Literally did everything they could do. His family had some just disinterest in Ole Miss that couldn't be overcome. Some distrust institutionally of the school that they had a difficult time overcoming. He wanted to go someplace else. Going someplace else there's no stigma attached to it at that high school. And the relationships that he built with Woodson and that Auburn staff were more than Ole Miss could overcome. It's if you ask me, really starting tomorrow, well, not even tomorrow, starting January the 16th when the dead period ends, the staff's on the clock. Not really for the February signing period, but for next December.
And then Ronald Maddox makes his point. Yes, the class was 22 before Luke was fired, but the problem was the upside was very low because guys were bailing a little bit here.
It was in the process of falling apart.
Yeah.
Luke would not have finished in the top 25. They were getting past.
And things were not going well with a couple of the main targets that we've been talking about for a year or more.
Yeah.
McKinley Jackson's, JJ
Pegues,
that kind of thing.
The backlash was going to be tremendous. They were going to lose Eric Reed. They want you to turn up my audio.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm playing with it.
I'm not a very loud for someone who's such a rampager. I'm not
you're not a loud talker at all.
I'm really not. I'm kind of quiet.
You can keep talking for a second. I'm just calling Jeffrey.
Okay. So yeah, we're working on updating as much as we can. Chase is getting Jeffrey on the phone right now. A little live podcasting. It's okay. This would be a time if we were doing a radio show, we'd go to a break where no one could see what was going on. But we're not a radio show.
Jeffrey? Yeah, sure. You're good.
Okay.
It's going to be a minute.
Gotcha. When you get him on, I'm probably going to step out for a minute and make a call, see if I can find something out.
Okay.
Zach Berry doing a really good job updating our site.
I deleted my thread, by the way, this morning. I saw we started the same front page thread for Nuggets or Chicks or whatever. So
yeah, we started one super early.
Do what now? Okay. Yeah, it's exciting. You're live now on the show. Jeffrey Wright joining us. National Signing Day that Jeffrey doesn't have to deal with anymore. How excited are you, bud? Because here a few years ago, you at least had to kind of talk about it and figure it out and hang out with us and watch the site crash and all that good stuff. But you're probably to some extent reprieved from that now, correct?
Yes, I am. I have an idea of kind of like the top 5 classes. But I had this thought as I strolled in today and realized it's National Signing Day. Excuse me, the early signing period, the start of the early signing period, because it's definitely not like this just became National Signing Day at all. I have no idea who the number 1 kid in the country is. I presume he's either going to Clemson or Alabama. I have no idea who it is, but I had the thought of 5 years ago, if you would have told me this, I guess even honestly 3 years ago, if you would have told me this, that I would be like, oh, there's no way. Like, of course I'd know who the number 1 kid is. And it's such a delight to think about.
Well, you did pretty good there because the number 1 kid in the country is committed to Clemson. The number 2 kid in the country is committed to Clemson.
Football, guys. I mean, that's really what you have to. That's the big takeaway. There's just so much parity. Isn't this game great?
The number 3 player in the country is committed to Alabama. The number 4 is undecided, and then 5 LSU, 6 Ohio State, 7 Ohio State, 8 undecided, 9 Clemson, 10 undecided.
Shout outs to all those top 10 kids that are undecided. I know today was a very big decision, and I cannot imagine how stressful the last 24 hours have been when trying to determine what the best offer is, the best bid is. Like I'm sure it's a nerve-wracking process.
You're talking about like, was it cost of attendance?
Yeah, that's it.
What cafeterias have more options for you? What schools have the best training tables?
Correct. Best game day experience. There's no question. Those are the types of
Jimmy Holiday, the quarterback at Madison Central. He flipped from TCU to Tennessee. I mean, he really wanted to run through the Power T, right?
Gosh, there's no question. Anyone that decides at the 11th hour to go to Tennessee, they just put a giant video of what it would be like to run through the T, because no one else in college football has ever run through the band. Like it's just an experience unlike any other. Who among us doesn't want to go and spend 3 years at the minimum in the concrete jungle of Knoxville?
You've been around this thing for a while. Obviously, Lane Kiffin trying to salvage some semblance of this class. I don't expect a lot of drama today, at least in a positive way. I don't expect some sort of out of left field sleeper that's going to elevate this class. I was telling Neil a second ago, we had a little bit of a podcast segment on it, that as of right now, Ole Miss 44th nationally. The class, the way it was headed under Matt Luke, was simply not good enough to compete in the SEC West, judging by rankings, barring something crazy. What what is your expectation for Kiffin, for Ole Miss getting through February, just to kind of salvage this thing a little bit?
I think if you can get 10 to 15 SEC players, that is a win. And, obviously, if they could get them on the offensive and defensive lines, that would be a premium because I think they're going to have big issues on both of those. The problem is, no duh. If they can get some offense and defensive linemen, they'll be good. I mean, I think everyone's looking for that. I think the biggest key for them is they just, especially on the defensive side of the ball, like I don't know about y'all, but every time I watch them play, I just kept thinking, with the exception of a couple of guys, that just doesn't look like an SEC defense. And so I think they need bodies, and I think you could say the same for the offensive line. And I hope everyone is sitting down for that, had their oven mitts on. If Ole Miss could get better up front, then that would be a win. But I mean, you look at the skill positions. Running back, it's really deep. Quarterback's going to be whatever. Everyone's looking for a quarterback too. I think Lane's going to pick a guy and figure out how to at least move the football. And so that's not really a huge concern for me. Again, I watched him do it with Jonathan Cromtana, so I'm not really concerned about him picking a quarterback and finding someone that he can at least be productive with. But to me, that's the biggest deal is you just look at that roster and it was starting to look better, but it just does not look like an SEC roster.
Yeah, suddenly a crowded quarterback room. Matt Corral, John Rice Plumlee, Kincaid Dent, Grant Tisdale, and then Cade Renfro, the signee today. With the falling of Ashford, signing Renfro, it does appear that he's going to a more pass-centric quarterback. What have you kind of profiled over the years from Kiffin's quarterbacks? What do you think he's looking for?
If he had his ideal quarterback,
sure,
he would be looking for Tua Tagovailoa.
Well,
He'd be looking
we
for
all would, of course, but
right. But I mean, in fairness, Alabama did identify. It was not clear that Tua was the best quarterback in that class. I mean, I understand he played in Hawaii, and there were some questions about competition and whatnot, but he wasn't the unquestioned best kid in that class. He looks for guys that are accurate with the football, guys that can stretch the field, and it's not necessarily like he doesn't really believe you have to be, someone that can make plays with his feet. He wants someone in the pocket that can deliver the football, and he's made it work with other types of quarterbacks. Blake Sims doesn't fit that. The two kids that he really had at FAU don't fit that mold. But I think if he had his what he would truly look for is I think he'd look for guys that are really accurate with the ball and guys that understand how to get the ball out on time.
What do you think happened here? I'm following kind of National Signing Day live on Twitter. Nate Klaus covers Nebraska, says, bit of signing day drama. DB target Jaden Francois was on the phone ready to announce his decision. Appeared to be upset, then walked out of the gym. Now not even in the hallway outside of the gym. Not sure where he and his family have gone. What's your guess? What happened?
Let's see. What is my guess of what happened? Let me see. This is a unique situation. I've never heard of this happening. Yeah. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that in the words of Jermaine Whitehead, there's a business decision that's about to be made. It's not personal. It's just business.
Not personal. Hey, some stuff happens on signing day. I mean, Davin Gaucho, he showed up in Baton Rouge ready to he wearing a navy and red polo and then chooses LSU. Mm-hmm. I mean, really just picked his outfit that morning.
Frank Gore had that scenario where he was at school wearing, I believe it was a red shirt. Even there were some reports he even had like an Ole Miss hat or something. And then all of a sudden, there was a phone call made, and they had a quick timeout in which they huddled as a team,
some green and orange,
as a family, and they decided that it was best for Frank to stay home.
What's just curious more than anything else? What's the reaction up there with Memphis staying inside the house for the hire?
In general, happiness isn't the appropriate word, but it got to a point where it appeared that it was kind of settling to be either Barry Odom or Ryan Silverfield, and just a large portion, not only of the fan base, but I think of people around the program, there was this idea of just anyone but Barry Odom. And so Ryan Silverfield really, really encapsulated that movement and that moment. And, you know, there's obviously question marks around Ryan. He had never been a full-time assistant until Mike Norvell made him the offensive line coach here. He's never called a play. He's having to replace the most successful coach in the program's history. But all those would be true if you were hiring pretty much anyone. And so the idea with Silverfield is he has seen how to build a roster here at Memphis. And, everyone loves to say the keep it rolling and, look at all four coaches in the playoff. They were all promoted from within. Well, yeah, but they had the Oklahoma job, the LSU job, the Clemson job, and the Ohio State job. So it's not really apples to apples. I think the model should at least be Oregon, because Mario Cristobal was not, I think had Oregon been able to do a proper search, I don't think Mario Cristobal would end up getting the gig. And while I don't think he's like an amazing football coach, he's clearly gotten Oregon back to a standard that is where they should be, at least in terms of the Pac-12. I don't know about nationally, but in terms of the Pac-12, you look at what they're going to do today, and I think they're starting to separate themselves in terms of a roster from a talent perspective. But I think that was really a big part of it. It was just kind of, it got to a certain point where it was like anyone other than Ryan Silverfield.
The interesting thing,
anyone other than Barry.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. It's where Ole Miss is trying to get this program right now, and where Memphis kind of is. And considering where Memphis was not too terribly long ago, this is amazing to me. They sort of just trust the program at this point. You know what I mean? Like, to some extent, they sort of just kind of keep the machine rolling, if you can call it that. I mean, it's an interesting dynamic that not a ton of programs nationally get to have this kind of moment where no matter what happens, it's sort of this, hey, it's going to be all right mentality with Memphis right now.
Yes, I think there is an element of that. I also think there's another variable at play. There wasn't a clear other candidate that wanted the job that you go, okay, this is a name to take a risk on. You know what I mean? Like I think they conducted as good of a search as possible. But the truth remains, this is not really an indictment, in my opinion, on the Memphis job. It's more of a promotion of what Mike Norvell was able to do. There's just not a lot of coaches that sit there and go, hey, man, Memphis just went 12-1 and won that league. I don't want to be the guy following it. And it's to me, this is more similar than Florida trying to make a hire after Spurrier left. It's not that the Florida job was ever bad. It's just you don't want to be the guy that follows that, because no matter what the program is, fan bases, when they start to see the success and they experience it, rightly or wrongly, that now becomes a new standard, and that becomes the new bar. And coaches are very, even though it's all about the kids, they are very. I've noticed they're very smart at putting them in positions where they look better.
Yeah, I think I'll buy that. Probably last thing. I know you got to go in a second. Jake Bentley makes it official, headed to Utah. How's he going to do there?
I guess he'll be fine. I mean,
his star was so high a couple years ago. We all kind of liked him, thought he was going to continue to get better and be this guy, and he never progressed at all. Frankly, if anything, he might have regressed a little bit.
Yeah, I was trying to think of another kid where I think he was better as a freshman than he is currently. And now there's some other things that go into that. It turns out if you're a quarterback with Deebo Samuel, you are apparently a better thrower than you are without. He had some injuries. I think there was some offensive identity crisis problems. I mean, you look at it, he basically he basically, I think he had a new offensive coordinator. It felt like every single year. So there was just there was never really a chance for continuity. I think he'll go into the Pac-12 and he'll find himself enjoying it when he sees what the opposing pass rushes look like. I think he'll figure out that it's a little easier to throw the football when I can sit back here a little more.
So what is on topic for you today in your 14 hours of radio?
Oh boy, that is a great question. Obviously, there will be some signing day. As Neil now knows, the Memphis Grizzlies at 10-17 are in the thick of a playoff race. Apparently, we have Pro Bowl rosters.
Forgot about that.
It's a lot of B-, C+ topics today.
Just one of those days.
It's just one of those days. It's, hey man, the Christmas holiday really starts in about 3 days.
I hear you. Have a good day, bud. We'll talk to you.
All right, guys.
It's Jeffrey Wright, Neal McCready back with us. How are you?
I'm lovely. I'm good.
Do you have any information to share?
Nothing I can confirm. I think that the difference between you and me from a cleanliness standpoint just got pointed out. You took your headphones off and just threw them on the ground.
Well, they fell. I just didn't reach down and pick them back up.
I took my headphones off and sat them quietly on the table.
Yeah.
I think the buzz is pretty strong that Josiah Hayes is going to Kentucky. They apparently last night when I checked with people, it sounded like Ole Miss, and I don't think Kentucky had committed to sending him an NLI. And last night late, they told him they had room. He likes John Summerall. It's about relationships again.
Oh yeah,
it's relationships.
Well, if everything's even-ish, it is relationships. I mean, it still is recruiting, guy. Like it, yep. the base of how. Yeah, look, there's a lot of dirty stuff go on, but at the end of the day, kind of getting whatever wherever. I mean, it's back to relationships. It is about those people. It's about people
for sure
and places. I mean, you're human. It's not robots. Nobody's a robot. Like I say, not everybody's robots, but Kentucky signs a 5-star. It looks like defensive line this morning too. Somebody I saw it popped up.
Yeah, they're apparently having a pretty good year. Arkansas just stole one of Missouri's big commitments.
That's not a surprise.
No. Relationships. Barry Odom. By the way, Arkansas gets Kendall Briles as the offensive coordinator. Who's not Chip Long. They had talked to Chip Long. They get Kendall Briles. Give Sam Pittman some credit. From a coaching staff standpoint, from a coordinator standpoint, Barry Odom and Kendall Briles is a pretty solid combination.
That's pretty good.
Look, Lane Kiffin's got to get this thing right, whether it's Mike McIntyre or somebody else. He's got to get a defensive staff together that not only can coach but can really get out and recruit. This 2021 class for Ole Miss, there's no way around it, is a critical class.
It's got to be good.
It's got to be. Nope.
It's got to be SEC West good. That's my point.
It's got to be SEC West good. It's got to be top 10 to 12 good.
Yeah.
Period.
You have to accelerate and then get on that path at this point. Yeah, you get this one. Nobody's holding this one against anybody.
And again, I'm going to say something else that I was told last night. Having a lot of available spots for February is a good strategy for this staff. They're going to get out and chase a lot of national guys. They're going to chase a lot of guys that don't maybe have strong ties to a program. January is going to be, for the people who love recruiting dramatics, I think you're going to get your wish in January.
The question is going to be how many people are left in January, strictly in the pool, because everybody's signing today.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we got to let the smoke clear and then see who's even on the table. I mean, you kind of got to have a menu a little bit for February and see what's up. Jeffrey mentioned that a second ago. It did let me remember I was going to mention this today. The Baltimore Ravens with 12 Pro Bowl selections this season. 12. The Saints lead the NFC with 7. Laramie Tunsil makes his first Pro Bowl this year. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Laramie Tunsil made a Pro Bowl.
He did.
How about that?
He is, let me find this stat. 1 second. I found this pretty interesting. Got a second.
Tunsil, the guy that used to play at Ole Miss, the tackle? He made it?
As I tweeted last night, there's a decent chance some people would like a do-over at this point, I would assume.
Yeah.
You think so? You think they'd be okay with the gas mask at this point if they had a do-over?
I think they'd let him play with it.
So this is from Pro Football Focus, our friends at PFF. Pass block win rate this season, okay?
Okay.
And it means when given no help. One-on-one with the defensive end, have at it. Ronnie Stanley, leads the league.
Okay.
97.1%.
It's pretty good.
Laramie Tunsil second, 95.2% win rate, one-on-one at left tackle.
At left tackle against some of the greatest athletes in the world.
95.2.
Yeah.
I got down the rabbit hole last night, too, because the NFL Network the other day even kind of made fun of him with it. A lot of false starts. I was watching a guy put a bunch of videos out about 6 days ago, but I found him on Twitter yesterday. He's getting some of his false starts because he's moving so quickly at the snap that he is moving faster than the rest of the linemen, and he is looking off sides or false starting when he's not.
He's not actually false
He's
starting.
actually moving with the ball simultaneously, and nobody else is moving yet.
Here's what I can tell you about Laramie Tunsil.
My God.
Here's what I can tell you about Laramie Tunsil. He's about 6'5".
Yeah.
If Laramie Tunsil were 6'8", he would be an elite NBA small forward. Unguardable. If he were 6'9", 6'10", he would be an NBA all-star power forward. He has that kind of athleticism. And people that don't watch a lot of NBA, turn on an NBA all-star game. If you don't want to watch the season, and watch the big men move their feet. That's Laramie Tunsil. Not clumsy at all. Usually if you watch offensive linemen go against defensive linemen, it's so much technique, with linemen because the defensive lineman is the more athletic guy. Laramie not only had the technique, but he was more athletic than the defensive lineman.
I was just scrolling through Laramie on Twitter. Some site did an all-decade college football team and put Laramie on it as one of the offensive linemen.
Yeah. He's the best college football player I've ever seen.
Whoa. Really?
In person.
You think so?
In person, absolutely.
Okay.
Completely impacted games.
He was underrated at 12 nationally at high school.
The Katy Perry game?
Yeah.
Alabama. You can hate Alabama if you want. Love them, whatever. I don't care. Alabama had to completely scrap their defensive game plan. How many times do you think Nick Saban has had to scrap his defensive game plan?
Yeah, he stopped rushing from that.
How many times do you think in his career Nick Saban has had to say this game plan doesn't work?
Well, not many.
Twice?
Yeah. At one point, they just went out of the hell with it.
Didn't work.
We'll do something else.
Yeah, didn't work. Hey, we have the best players in the world, in the country, right here on our team. And this doesn't work. We got to do something different.
I thought his entire career, there was one game that was even or a loss for him his entire career. I thought Carl Lawson got to him at Auburn that day.
Yeah, a little bit.
Thought that was the one out of all of them. He handled Myles Garrett every time.
Lawson's a pretty good player.
Oh, well, yeah.
Pretty good.
Damn good player.
Pretty good player.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
But that's the one I remember in my
Myles Garrett's a hell of a player. Yeah. Myles Garrett's a hell of a football player.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is a superb football player. He absolutely didn't make a dent on Tunsil. And that's not about Myles, because
great player.
If you have an NFL team and someone calls you and says, "Hey, Myles Garrett can play for you," done. You don't even think about it. Agreed?
But if you're on the site, go to that thread. There's a Tunsil thread on the board and watch the video because it's fairly fascinating. It's an incredible slow-mo, and it shows it. Turn your phone sideways if you're on your phone to get the landscape mode or whatever, and you can see where he's coming out of his break with the ball, and then the rest of the line's not moving, and he's already out waiting, and it creates false starts. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm kind of looking through for any other names. I don't see much that is Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson both making the Pro Bowl. Patrick Mahomes making the Pro Bowl, and the Bears have Mitch Trubisky though. I mean, it's all right. It's all right. It's all good.
Yep.
Chris Jones in the Pro Bowl for the Chiefs. Speaking of signing day stories from past years.
That was a fun day.
You like that one?
It was a fun
Did you have a good day with that one?
We had a good time with it.
Was he in Oxford? Was he not in Oxford? What's going on?
He was definitely in Oxford.
That one and Floyd Raven are two of the ones we'll take with us to the grave.
Yeah.
Floyd Raven and the fax machine with the mother sending it somewhere else and him going somewhere else. And then what was the kid? Oh, God. DJ Law signed with 4 different schools.
Oh, yeah.
He signed with 4 schools
Utah
on signing day.
and
Ole
Ole
Miss,
Miss.
and then JUCOs for each fallback.
Yeah.
So he had like a Mississippi JUCO in case he ended up at Ole Miss and didn't qualify. And then he had some other Kansas JUCO or something had he gone to Utah and then didn't. Because
Wonder whatever happened to him.
I don't know. It was one of the better things because he he's on the list. He signs with Ole Miss. And, I mean, obviously we're farther along in our day because Utah's in a different time zone. And we're all sitting in the media room, and I think it was Hugh Kellenberger. He looked over at me, and he goes, hold on, come here. And, like, walk around, and it's Utah. And it's like to welcome DJ Law to the program or whatever. And we're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So, like, we look at it, they're whatever, and you call somebody, and you go, yeah, he just sent a bunch of NOIs in.
Yeah.
He just sent them everywhere. So then you're trying to figure out, okay, is the first one the real one? Is that one? Does it make all the rest of them void? I mean, is it? I don't know.
Yeah,
So
I'll give Hugh Freeze credit on that day. He just went, forget it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, he just gave that one
Yeah.
up. You have him.
Take him.
And didn't he end up at Scuba or something down the road?
Seems
he end
like
back at East?
he did. That's exactly right.
Because he was on one of the Last Chance U
Yeah.
seasons, I'm pretty sure.
I think that's one of the things Freeze said that day, kind of off the record, was he's not going to qualify anyway. It was a place setter thing.
Think Eli's done or not? What do you think?
Eli Manning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think he's done?
I think he finishes the season. And then
But yeah, you think this is his last
I
season?
think so.
You think that was a swan song the other day?
I think so. He's 39 years old on January the 3rd. I looked it up yesterday.
Are they going to start him the rest of the season?
I don't know what David Jones's situation is, but
Daniel,
whatever. Tells you how good he's been.
he was great that first week. I mean, they
Yeah.
said, hey, got an all-star on our hands.
I think he's
Now
walking.
the team around him is not very good.
He's healthy.
Yeah.
Beautiful family. He's got more money than he knows what to do with, I'm guessing. Yeah, I
He
think
had a good run.
a hell of a run.
I don't know if he's going to get into the Hall of Fame, but he's had a hell of a run.
Beloved in New York, 2 Super Bowls,
2 Super Bowl MVPs.
2 Super Bowl MVPs. Yeah, why would you risk all that?
Most famous quarterback in New York Giants history.
Absolutely.
Most prominent.
Absolutely. Why would you risk all that? Got your health. Go be a dad.
You know, he tries to go play for somebody and make that last run, like that Chiefs Montana kind of thing.
He doesn't strike me as that kind of guy.
That just has to have the
That
competition.
has to have football. I think Eli would be good on TV. He's kind of funny.
He'd be better than he gets credit for.
Yes.
Because he's kind of dry and he would.
Yeah, if he wanted to do some TV, he could do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what he wants to do. My guess is if you're that kind of, you've had the financial success that he's had, my guess is that he'd like to take a season and be a dad. Get in the carpool line a little bit. Chill. Let your body heal up completely.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
I would look, do what you want to do. It's your life. If you want to go play for the Jaguars and make one run at it, go for it. Whatever makes you happy. But gosh, in today's football, if you have that kind of money and your legacy is
It
so
just depends
set.
on your mental thing. Some of those guys just can't give it up. No,
Yeah.
hey, as long as I can play, I'm playing. That's what I do. It's the player version of Saban. No, that's what I do. I play football.
I would think the Giants are in sort of the Billy Chappell mode here. I mean, do what you got to do, but we're moving on. But boy, we'd sure love for you to retire a Giant.
Yeah.
We'd sure love to have Eli Manning Day next September.
Yeah.
With you in a suit and your wife and your kids.
Not coming back here as a member of the Jaguars.
Yeah, we'd sure love to. We'd sure love to put your name up in the Ring of Honor or whatever it is that they do, and honor you as a lifetime Giant. And yeah,
and there is a certain legacy to that versus moving around a little bit.
Of course,
yeah. I mean,
Of course, there's a lot to it. It's one of the. I read a story yesterday about Madison Bumgarner going to Arizona and how you lose the ability to have that legacy. Does it take away from all the things that he's done in San Francisco? No, but now he's going to pitch against them, and that does change it. Chipper Jones never played for anybody but the Braves. It's Mr. Brave. If Chipper Jones had played one season with the Phillies or the Mets, I'll give you an example. Tom Glavine
That's
left.
where I was going, was Tom Glavine. That's what
Glavine's
came
not
in my head.
Mr. Brave. He's a beloved Brave, but he's not Mr. Brave. Not as much as Chipper is.
So you think Smoltz, Glavine, those legacies are
not tainted,
not
just
tainted,
different.
Just popped, chipped, just nicked,
chip paint,
just enough.
Yeah, a little bit. Think of Chipper. You think of Chipper from day one.
If Derek Jeter had said, "Hey, I'm gonna go be a Marlin for a year,"
Absolutely. Derek Jeter, instead, he's Mr. Yankee. Even though he's owning the Marlins.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Think of him as
that's
absolutely forever. Forever. I mean, Ernie Banks, Mr. Cub, never played anywhere but Chicago. Ron Santo, as beloved as he was, did play for the White Sox. It was different.
How big of a legacy Maddox would have had he just stayed a Cub his entire career?
I'm done with the show.
That's one of the ones that still gets a little visceral, isn't it?
Yeah. Come on. Trying to have a podcast here. You want to get all personal.
We'll give him a minute to recover when we do that, and maybe he needs to go to Tyson Drugs, find something in there that can help him out with this heart sickness that he has going on right now. Or you just get a flu shot, because it's a $0 copay on most insurance plans. You don't have to wait in line or anything. They take care of you as quickly and painlessly as possible. That's Tyson Drugs and Square in Holly Springs, or G&M Pharmacy off South Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. Deliver local to your home or workplace. They offer MedSync and a whole lot more. So give them a call, 662-236-2222.
Derek Bermuda is a surprise for Ole Miss today. They went to bed last night not thinking they were going to get him, and they did. We're also brought to you by Dead Soxy. They've got a new mesh bag. This bag is made to go in the wash and in the dryer. It's to keep from losing socks and also keep the integrity of the sock design to last longer. Customers who spend $75 or more on orders this week will receive one of those bags free. Customers who purchase by 2 p.m. on Thursday, 2 p.m. Thursday, can guarantee they will receive their order in time for Christmas. Enter the offer code of Rebel Grove, that's the promo code, for 30% off all your orders at DeadSoxy, DeadSoxy.com. The folks at Blue Delta have been giving you a Christmas countdown for a couple of weeks now, and guys, the time is upon us, but do not worry. Blue Delta can help you solve your last-minute Christmas gift needs. Call them, message them on social media, visit their website at bluedeltajeans.com to purchase a gift card and give your loved ones the best fitting pair of jeans they'll ever wear. Additionally, Oxford Exxon Podcast listeners with the pattern on file can get $100 off the online price and a free 2-week rush on their order using promo code podcast through the Blue Delta Jeans websites. Go ahead, take advantage of this deal so you can walk into the new year in style. We're also brought to you by Southern Craft Stove and Tap. We'll have bowl picks up tomorrow from the huge first week of bowl games. Dramatic week. Hawaii, BYU. My God, I can't sleep thinking about it. Come join the end of the year celebration and meet up with fellow Rebel Grovers at Southern Craft Stove and Tap on Sunday from December 29th from 6 to 9 p.m. You can cheer on the Rebel basketball team as they take on Tennessee Tech at 3, and then head over to Southern Craft to enjoy some of your favorite Southern cuisine. $1 off Wells, $1 off all drafts, including wines on draft. It's located at Highway 7 and Sisk Avenue, so take an escape from the square. Also, make sure to check out the new Tupelo location. It is located in the Fair Park Towers building at 205 East Troy Street. Come get in on the fun at their new Tupelo location. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year from Southern Craft Stove and Tap. Also brought to you by Nest & Wild. Sleep better with the Nest & Wild mattress. It's a Mississippi-based mattress company making a high-quality mattress delivered right to your door. They make buying a new mattress easy. Every Nest & Wild mattress is a foot thick, giving you comfort and support that will last. From California Kings to Twins, every Nest & Wild mattress is 1 foot thick. You can also fight cancer in your sleep. Nest & Wild's partner with former Major League pitcher Jason Mott's foundation in the fight against cancer. They donate a portion of every mattress sale back to Jason's charity. It's also a no-risk decision. Nest & Wild believes in their product so much they're offering a $99 night trial on every mattress. So try it out. Sleep on it for 99 nights, and if you don't like it, you can return it. Go to nestandwild.com. Order your mattress. Use the podcast code REBEL20 and get 20% off your purchase, and your mattress will arrive at your door in 3 to 5 days.
Looking at it here, so went to 93. So Maddox had won one Cy Young with the Cubs, right? That
Yeah,
first
he had
of the
just
four.
won it.
Yeah, okay. Had several Gold Gloves, however, with the Cubs.
Yeah, he did. Seriously, it's one that hurts.
It was still.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I loved Greg Maddox. Still do.
Were they going to be at all competitive during those years, though?
Yeah, they were good. Yeah, of course.
They screwed up.
Oh, my God. Yeah, of course. Disastrously. A colossal mistake. Unforgivable mistake. I mean, Larry Himes should have been banned from baseball. It's such a bad mistake. I'm totally serious. Should you walk away? Can't make that mistake.
Yeah, somebody makes a good point on the live stream. Actually, Archie, of all people, played for 3 different teams, but it was not his decision. And I mean, the Saints were what the Saints were at that point. I don't think that impacted his legacy. However, his pro legacy is of a really, really good player on a bad team. I mean, that is the pro legacy. I mean, Archie's legacy is much more college centric than pro centric.
Yeah, I think his legacy almost skips the NFL now. It's what he was in college as this one of the first absolute legends of college football, and now it's the dad of Peyton and Eli.
Mm-hmm. I mean, his NFL statistics: touchdowns, interceptions, 125 to 173.
Yeah.
55% completion percentage. I mean, just
what I remember, and I was a little kid, but you remember him running for his life.
That's what I'm saying. They were terrible.
Yeah.
Had no help.
No.
I mean, you put Archie on the Steelers, and he wins 4 Super Bowls, and nobody knows who Terry Bradshaw is.
Absolutely. If he's with the Cowboys, he's Roger Staubach.
Yeah.
So much of it is who.
And you're discussing him as literally maybe the best overall football person of all time or something at that point. I mean, however you want to put that.
Sure.
Between his legacy with his kids and the whole deal. And
put him on the Oilers instead of Dan Pastorini.
Mm-hmm.
Give him Earl Campbell in that defense. Put him on a lot of teams.
How it works out.
Yeah.
You mentioned Derek Bermudez. He a safety out of Florida. Yeah, looks like he's
in.
He's in. 6'2", 180.
Still trying to wait for.
He was previously committed to Florida State until November.
Yeah,
a little bit of his story there.
Tobias Braun, Derek Bermudez, they flipped to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Transition classes. That's a transition class in Tallahassee.
Stuff
flip That's why these decisions aren't made lightly. There are ripple effects. Lots of them.
Looking through your mailbag a little bit, you're still going with Baylor as the most likely upset out of any of those next year?
Just because defensively they gave up a lot of points.
And they lose some dudes on that side too.
Yeah. Ole Miss is returning a lot of guys on offense. Ole Miss is going to be a different defensive team.
30-second version here. MLB equivalent of Ole Miss football, the Tampa Bay Rays. What do you got? Sorry, the Tampa Rays. No.
Well, if you're Ole Miss football, you're in the same division with Alabama, Auburn, LSU.
So
if you're the Rays, you're in the same
Red Sox and Yankees.
Red Sox, Yankees. You've proven you can win. Yet, no matter how much you do win, people always view you as an underdog. You're operating with a smaller budget in a smaller market. You have to be really efficient. But you've proven you can win. Tampa has won. They were in the playoffs last year.
They do it a little differently at times, all that kind of stuff.
Have to be a little different. Got to recruit well. Not going to get the big free agent any more than, so it's going to be hard to get the big national 5-star. I thought about it for a long time.
Yeah, you hope Lane Kiffin is your Andrew Friedman.
Thought about the Brewers as a fit for that comparison. But, Yankees Red Sox are more powerful than Cubs Cardinals.
Oh, yeah.
So just, to me, it made a lot of sense. When you're in Tampa, you're never going to be the profiler in that division, ever. It's always going to be the Yanks. It's always going to be the Red Sox. You're never going to have the money that they have.
You would get bitten by a snake before you'd wear Cardinal stuff every day?
For 5 years?
Oh, was it 5 years?
I wore that. I lost a bet and had to wear a Cardinal jersey for a week, and it really affected
And I
my
mean, look what
mood.
goes on around you. The room flooded that week. Like, you literally walked into a room with a Cardinals jersey and the room flooded. We had to
know.
go to a different area for the press conference.
It was
that day.
God's way of saying, no, this is not what I intended for your destiny, Neil.
So you would let a poisonous snake, or venomous snake, bite you.
I asked, well, am I guaranteed to live?
We always talk about things that we mess up and whatever, and I didn't catch that at first. It's venomous. If you bite it and you die, it's poisonous. If it bites you and you die, it's venomous.
Right. I don't like either one of those options, by the way.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the whole point. I mean, you can't. Nobody's stolen you a parachute.
Yeah, I don't know. Just let me perish if that's the case.
Or you can eat a mayonnaise and tomato sandwich every day for a year.
For a year?
Yeah.
Ooh. God, I'd lose so much weight.
No, you have to eat it.
Yeah, I know, but I'd vomit every single time.
Mayonnaise and tomato.
Oh, I'd be so sick.
No bananas.
You have no idea how sick I'd get.
Couldn't.
Oh, I would do it if that's what I was forced to do, but it would never stay down. The gag reflex would be so out of control.
I do love that running gag of what Kevin McAllister's dad did on Home Alone to send everyone to Europe and all over the country and have the whole deal. And he did not seem overly emotional the entire movie.
He's a stone cold
It didn't
killer.
bother him that his son was left alone in Chicago.
Remember Richard, what's his name? Richard Gere's character in Pretty Woman?
Yeah.
I think that's what he did for a living, too. He just took apart companies. No emotion at all.
That's true. Gere in that movie
They left his kid alone in Chicago at the holidays, and he's on the plane going, I'll have another champagne. He'll be all right. And if he's not, he's not. One less private school I'll have to pay for. He didn't care. Stone cold killer. One of the secrets of that movie. The mom was pretty upset.
She reacted appropriately.
But he was,
Wrote, got back with a polka band. I mean, did everything necessary to
whatever it took. He walked in and said, hey, Kevin, you made it. How about that?
Then you leave him again.
And then you leave him again. I mean, just prove he's like, I don't care. I mean, I'm moving heaven and earth to get back.
Just chilling, sipping champagne in Paris.
Let's go see the Eiffel Tower, kids. I got a business deal to attend to over here. I guarantee you, while he was in Paris, while Kevin was stranded in Chicago fighting for his life on an hourly basis, I guarantee you he was closing some deal with the French bank.
So you think like Richard Gere in Pretty Woman is one of the most like heartless characters in a rom-com?
Yeah.
I think he's on the list.
Yeah.
So did she change him, or was it still just hey trophy wife? What happened?
Well, she was scorching hot.
Richard probably did all right though. Richard probably found somebody.
Yeah, but not Julia Roberts in her prime.
She was a hooker.
Yeah, but she was Julia Roberts in her prime.
At least they didn't try to make it out like she was ugly and then like changed her or
No,
whatever.
no,
Like
no,
the
no,
version of like she's all that, like that kid, like the teenage movie where like she has glasses on. Oh my God, she's hideous, and then takes the glasses off, and it's like whoa. It's
I
like,
mean, she was a smoke show from minute one who did not look like your standard. Come on, he knew
she changed him. He went barefoot in the park for Christ's sake.
Huh?
Since she changed him, he went barefoot in the park.
Yeah.
Oh, no, in her prime, Julia Roberts is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Grindhard says isn't all that, to be honest.
Yeah, come on. Back in the day?
Yeah.
Come on, Grind. I don't know about that, buddy.
I don't know why I'm laughing at this.
I mean, come on. Like the scene where she walks into the store in the boutique in Beverly Hills. Come on.
Big mistake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she
legs for days.
Classed it up. No, she just That's so funny. I don't know why I'm laughing. She made the most of just a few movies too. Like you look at her entire filmography, and like there's a lot of duds and kind of stuff on there. But I mean,
she cashed in on a few.
Oh, knew
the role.
Yeah. I mean, there was a point there where she was kind of it, but
so it said Kit was hot.
That's funny. I mean, 'cause look, okay, I got a filmography up there. You don't ever know where we're going. So, okay. She does Steel Magnolias and Pretty Woman back to back. So, living right there. I mean, just popping. Flatliners. Okay, great. Like, whatever. Crazy movie. You watch Flatliners?
Movie. Yeah. With Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah. Sleeping with the Enemy. Okay, whatever.
That wasn't bad.
It's okay. Dying Young. Does a tearjerker there.
Yeah.
Hook. I don't even know what the player. I was just a cameo. Okay. Then does The Pelican Brief. I Love Trouble. A couple duds.
She was good in Pelican Brief. That was good. That was a good movie.
Mary Riley, Michael Collins. Everyone Says I Love You. Like has just some stuff. That was a Woody Allen movie, but still. And then gets back with My Best Friend's Wedding. Obviously, mega hit there, opposite Cameron Diaz. To the point of somehow making Cameron Diaz seem like the villain when she was just the girl next door who was trying to hold on to her husband or her fiance. Like people rooting for Julia Roberts in that movie. Julia Roberts was a horrible human being in that movie.
Yeah.
Yet it's Julia Roberts. So we're going to root for Julia Roberts somehow over Cameron Diaz. Dermot Mulroney's character, living right. He has Cameron Diaz and Julia Roberts fighting over him for an hour and a half in this movie.
It's living right. No question.
I mean, that's a sports writer who apparently... I'm not really sure what he did.
Who would you pick, Cameron Diaz or Julia Roberts? In their respective primes. And yes, I know that's sexist. I know it is. But you can also do this with guys. I mean, come on. Men have primes too.
Julia Roberts.
Just because she's more of a classic beauty.
I don't. I mean, is anybody going wrong here? I mean, it's whatever. But yeah, I think.
Is it similar to Ginger and Marianne?
I'm Marianne.
Really? Because to me, Julia Roberts is more Ginger than she is Marianne.
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz is more Marianne than she is Ginger.
I mean, maybe it's not a type. I'm just picking and choosing, and hey, I'm all over the place. I think so. So you're saying Cameron Diaz then, right?
I think so.
That's the way you appear to be leaning.
I think so.
Hayes to Kentucky is official, by the way.
Okay.
According to Jacob Thirdgill on the live chat.
Avery makes a point. Some men look better with age. It's so unfair. I mean,
it's not really a blonde versus brunette preference, though.
No.
Hair color is not a thing.
No.
Yes, there's no doubt. Dottie Henson deliberately dropped the ball at the end of A League of Their Own. Yeah, to let her sister win.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. She dropped
the ball on purpose.
Yeah, she put family
You spent
first.
the entire movie showing her grip strength and the fact that she would not drop that ball. That was foreshadowed the entire time.
Yes.
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
We're having this conversation on National Signing Day.
We're having this conversation, and Jerry Pitt says chances on Darnell Washington. And I thought at first he said chances on Denzel Washington. And I was like, what do you mean chances? Darnell Washington's the 5-star player out of Las Vegas. There's a chance. He will be one that we will be following in January for sure.
Point being, as I finished this little thought I have, though, she did a pretty good job of kind of rebounding here for some stuff. When Stepmom, Not Bad, Notting Hill, and Runaway Bride on a little bit of a roll there through the late 90s.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Glad she closed strong.
Well, I mean, generally close. Still making movies for you. I mean, she's got, let's see. Well, no, she actually doesn't have anything in production right now.
How's Jennifer Aniston now?
Where'd that come from?
I don't know. I was thinking about
she never got on that level, though.
Kind of think about actresses that sort of transcended.
50.
Wow, she's my age.
She's 50. She turns 51 in February.
Oh, so she's a year older than me.
Mm-hmm. Estimated net worth in 2017 was $200 million.
Good for her.
Jennifer Aniston or Angelina Jolie?
Ooh. Probably Jennifer Aniston.
I think I agree. I think so. Oh, okay.
This podcast is also brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. We've got a Mind on My Money podcast that is up. It is brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. We discussed wine pairings today, so I think you might really enjoy it. If you're not in the mood to talk about money, you don't have to today. You can listen to wine pairings, champagne pairings for the holidays. Pretty good stuff. Pintrust.com, P-I-N-N Trust.com. Mention you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fee. We'll be at the Westin Jackson on Friday night. Hope you join us there. You can check out for yourself Soul Spa, the ultimate luxury spa experience in downtown Jackson. And also, I suspect there will be some cocktails consumed at Estelle Wine Bar and Bistro. You should check that out as well. So gather at Estelle with us on Friday night. Podcast also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. Whether it's a golf trip, a summer trip, a trip to Europe, whatever the case may be, get in touch with John. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget. Give him some. Let him give you options that you're not going to find on your own. You don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. John's terrific at what he does. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off your first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. It's also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan's the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. Go in, test drive one today. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. And we're brought to you by Oxford University Bank. OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB gives you the comfort of home, all the benefits the big mega banks provide, all the technology and products you can want, all with the personal touch. When you call OUB, you speak directly with the live person. No 10 minutes to wait, no 10 buttons to push. What you get is Kasasa. It's the absolute best cash checking account. With Kasasa, customers pay 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000 and refund ATM fees nationwide. OUB also offers online bill pay and mobile check deposit using its online app. To learn more, check out Live Oxford, bankoxford.com, or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured.
Podcast is brought to you by Mastercuts Lawn and Landscape. You can get a free quote for them at 662-607-7773 or go mastercuts.com. There's frost on the ground this morning, but it'll be time to get the yard cut before you know it. So let them take care of basic maintenance for you this upcoming year, or maybe just those custom playgrounds and whatnot as well. So again, 662-607-7773. Hand raise guys tonight, again, 8 o'clock or so. For that one, we'll talk about something. Might take your calls. We'll figure it out as we go. We'll be back. So come grab a cocktail, hang out with us here in a bit tonight for that. We appreciate all of you this morning, and we will talk to you again soon. Take care.